And welcome back to Hannity. We continue with the author of the brand new book, The Liberty Amendments, Restoring the American Republic, the great one, Mark Levin. All right, one last question before I move on to some other topics. You're calling the Republicans the French Republicans. If they don't wage a fight on Obamacare, in your opinion, time for a third party?
You know, that's not a decision I can make.
For
what
yourself.
I try to do
for
is,
yourself.
Well, I mean, you know, I vote the way I want to vote anyway, write-in people and so forth. It's not a question of a third party, fourth party, or fifth party, or whatever party. What I'm trying to express in this book and so forth is why we should continue to fight at the national level, fight the Republican Party within the Republican Party, fight the Democrats. We have a systemic problem in a post-constitutional period, and what I'm arguing for is, in addition to all that, if we think Washington's going to redesign itself and breathe life back into the Constitution, it's not. The Constitution provides the salvation for the Constitution in Article 5 with the state convention process where we, the people, working from the bottom up through our states over a period of time, even those of us in dark, dark blue states, you never know, events are going to change the politics of a given state and so forth. We have to seize back what is ours, and what is ours is a constitutional republic. And right now, I don't know what we have, but it's becoming increasingly authoritarian.
There seems to be this divide. There's the Tea Party movement, which I kind of consider myself part of, and then there's a more establishment wing. Every time we have a primary election, it ends up, you got Dole, McCain, Romney, more moderate Republicans. And you worked
lose.
Okay, point. You worked under Ronald Reagan. As you look at the horizon,
win.
Okay, you look into the horizon, and I'm looking at Ted Cruz and Mike Lee and Rand Paul and others, and I'm wondering, are they the future? Scott Walker, maybe a governor? You've been outspoken against Christie. Explain the difference.
Well, let's hope they're the future of the Republican Party. The Republican Party has no future. I am convinced that a lot of these people who've been around Washington for 20, 30, 40 years are very comfortable with their environment. They have no intention of breathing life back into the Constitution. They put out their press releases. They spew their platitudes. They have their phony votes about repeal rather than using the power of the purse. I'm fed up with it. Those tricks don't work anymore. If you're not in Washington to help save this country, then get out.
All right.
That's why I support these challenges in the Republican primaries. That said, I really believe that even the most politically muscular and intelligent conservative as president and so forth cannot really reverse the trajectory of the nation for the past 100 years, and that we, the people, have to take matters constitutionally and civilly into our own hands under the Constitution.
But there seems that there's got to be a revitalization here, because I think you're raising a lot of good points, and I think their unwillingness to fight on Obamacare is probably just a symptom of a larger problem. But it seems to me...
But what are they willing to fight on in anything?
I agree.
Anything. Just name one thing.
But the point I'm trying to make here, it seems to me for America, and you point out in the book that we now have unfunded liabilities, record debt deficits that to the tune of $90 trillion. So the question is, are we going to have people that are going to fight, really change the system to limited government, or do the next Republican president just manages the decline and it just takes a little longer to get there?
I'm afraid at this point we have these respites. You know, we had the great Ronald Reagan for 8 years who really fought hard and began to turn the ship of state back. And what happened? We get another Republican. He immediately lurches into this compassionate conservatism, kindler and gentler conservatism, which really is just mealy-mouthed for let's lurch back into big government republicanism. And prior to Obama, the most profligate administration was W's administration, with 6 years of Republican rule in the House and the Senate. I just have concluded after 40 years of looking at this and studying this and participating in it that our answers are less at the federal level, although we ought to fight them, and more at the grassroots, bottom-up, federalism level.
What about Ted Cruz? What about Rand? What about Mike Lee, Rubio, all these guys that are, for example, fighting to defund Obamacare? I mean, any of them? I know you've always liked Ted Cruz. It appears his citizenship is real. He's gone to Iowa, New Hampshire.
Well, people ought to look at the 1790 Naturalization Act. Ted Cruz is as much as a citizen as anybody else in this country. His mother was and is an American citizen, and so is he. So enough of that nonsense. And he's going to give up his Canadian citizenship that he didn't even know that he had. I went back and looked. I said, hell, do I have Canadian citizenship? I don't even know either. But I don't, obviously. So that's just nonsense. But that said, obviously, I was one of the first to endorse him in the Republican primary in Texas, and what happened? The establishment rose up. They spent millions and millions of dollars to defeat him, but the people beat them back. Same with Mike Lee. Mike Lee, in a convention in Utah, had to beat the establishment, and he did. But, you know, we can pick, and Rand Paul, among others, Rubio and so forth, but these are 4 or 3 or 2. And you know, it's a very slow and daunting process.
But if the people support any of those guys, then they'll get the nomination. Last question. There seems to be a coronation of Hillary Clinton. What do you make of her? Do you think she's a formidable candidate?
I said before, and I'll say it again, she's Barack Obama in a dress. I was wrong. She's Barack Obama in a pantsuit. And look, none of these elections are inevitable. I mean, they tried to coronate her before, right? And then Barack Obama, with his extensive 2 years of experience in the Senate and his extensive accomplishments as a backbencher in the state Senate in Illinois, whipped her. So she's not, her presidency is not inevitable, unless, of course, we nominate another French Republican from the Northeast or some other part of the country. We will lose.
All right, we got a break, but you're going to be at Tyson's Corner, Barnes & Noble, I think?
Tyson's Corner, Virginia, Barnes & Noble, this Saturday.
All right, great one, Mark Levin. Good to see you again.
It's
good to see you in the bunker. I mean, you know, come out and see us once in a while.
Well, God bless you, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.